Ceasefire would be a disaster of historic proportion. Victory comes only with the humiliation of the enemy, abject surrender.
Israel needs America to be on side. They need Trump to be on side. They have to play along.
In the world of falsehood, that is true. In the world of truth, Israel does it by itself. And if America has the good fortune of being part of it, that's fine. If not, it's America's loss.
So much has happened since our last interview with Rabbi Manis Friedman. It's a new world. I mean, so much has changed. We've had Israel's exceptional, incredible, in many ways unprecedented attack on the Iranian regime. You know, many people in the aftermath of October 7th wondered, does Israel have the intelligence and military edge? And whether it's been with the pagers, whether it's been with getting Ismail Haniyeh inside of Tehran, and then it looks like they've had loads of Mossad agents or collaborators inside of Iran where they were able to go up and eliminate all these IRGC heads and then pave the way for America to come in. Many people were wondering, is America and Israel no longer in cahoots over the last few months? And it looks like maybe this was all kind of planned all along. And we're also seeing Netanyahu, who has shown a lot of humility and Winston Churchill-like courage standing up to an enemy like Iran, and also starting to articulate in ways that we haven't really seen before, faith. He went to the Kotel, to the Western Wall, just before the attack, and afterwards he's been saying in statements and in interviews, I couldn't have done this without divine help. I see it the whole time. And now, of course, just today, we've seen President Trump, after, of course, he played a really critical role in this, is now saying, no, Israel has to cease fire. And it's kind of leaving for many people, even though we have a huge amount of gratitude to him, a bit of a bittersweet taste in the mouth right now. So the first thing I want to say to you, Rabbi, is what do you make of everything that we've seen, and in particular about what President Trump has just said? He said, no, Israel has to stop, and there has to be a ceasefire, and that's going to be the end of it.
It won't be the end of it. That's the problem. No, ceasefire would be a disaster of historic proportion. There is a theory in warfare that victory comes only with the humiliation of the enemy. If they're not humiliated, you have not won. World War I never really ended because Germany was not humiliated. It seems like humiliation is a necessary part of peace. If your enemy is not humiliated, you will not have peace.
Just to pause you for a second, Rabbi, many people say Germany was severely humiliated, and that's kind of sowed the seeds for World War II. There was this deep resentment of the Treaty of Versailles and other such things, and Hitler rose because they were so deeply humiliated that they had to restore their pride.
Hitler had to but Germany was not humiliated because the Allies never entered Germany. So maybe Hitler's ego was bruised, but not the German people. So they regrouped and they started World War II. The end of World War II was because they were thoroughly humiliated to the point where he had to kill himself. But there is this official philosophy of war where humiliation is a necessary part of the victory. And biblically, that's true. All the predictions about the end of evil is that evil will be humiliated. Ceasefire means you preserve their dignity. The exactly wrong thing to do. And we're so close. So there's not there's not going to be a ceasefire, no matter who wants it. It's not going to
Right,
happen.
and this is, of course, a recent post from Donald Trump, President Trump, saying, Israel, do not drop those bombs. If you do, it is a major violation. Bring your pilots home now. And presumably, Prime Minister Netanyahu is thinking America has played a massive role in helping us deal with the nuclear threat. And we are very much not just indebted, but reliant on America. And Trump seemed incredibly angry. I mean, he swore on air just now as he was so angry with Israel for quote violating the ceasefire, even though it was Iran that first violated the ceasefire. What would you say to those who say, but Israel needs America to be on side. They need Trump to be on side. They have to play along.
That's in the world of falsehood. That is true. In the world of truth, Israel does it by itself. And if America has the good fortune of being part of it, that's fine. If not, it's America's loss. Our fate does not depend on America.
So Netanyahu should ignore America, ignore their dictates.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You cannot turn this fantastic victory into a disaster.
But what do you say to those who say we risk isolating ourselves from America, and therefore, they say, how would we have got the nuclear sites without America? This is a dangerous game we don't want to play.
Yeah, but we started it. Finish it. Don't back down. You're doing great.
You don't think Israel should, as in Joe Biden's words, take the win?
No, it's a disaster. It is precisely the wrong thing to do. The exact opposite of what should happen. God works in mysterious ways. If we don't get rid of the regime and America doesn't get rid of the regime, the Iranian people will. But they've got to go. Can you imagine the encouragement that this is going to give those maniacs? It's exactly the wrong thing to do. All of a sudden, they have the United States on their side.
They have all the what?
All of a sudden, they have the United States on their side.
Right.
What an ego boost that would be. And they don't need any more ego. They need to be humiliated. That's how evil ends, with humiliation. So one way or the other, this is not going to happen. Israel is going to have to finish the job.
And you don't think they face enough humiliation now? Israel infiltrating the top commanders of the Iranian regime, destroying their nuclear sites. Is that not quite a strong enough humiliation for them? In other words, what does victory look like for Israel?
Abject surrender, where the people of Iran can retake their own government. Everybody wants that. Everybody who is sane wants that. So it's very surprising that Trump is suddenly backing off when he himself said there's only one way to end this, and that is abject surrender. Look, we don't have all the hostages back. Now there's going to be a ceasefire. Iran is going to feel, yeah, we can absorb that punishment. We're still strong. Can't afford that. Can't afford that.
Why do you think Trump is being so giving so many different signals?
I have no idea. But what Netanyahu needs to do is to do what is best for Israel. Best in truth, not in politics.
Mm.
So if we have to do it without America, we'll do it without America. There's that incredible clip of Douglas Murray in his interview with Jordan Peterson, where he says the only way that nations will beat their swords into plowshares is if Torah uh, comes out of Jerusalem. The truth has got to come from Jerusalem, not from Washington. Now, if the United States has the good fortune of being on the right side of the issue, well, then good for America. If not, well, then too bad for America. It's time that the Torah comes forth from Zion. It's time. Yeah, it's going to happen. I hope it happens wisely.
Mm. Yeah. And what do you make of the fact that some people have been saying, look how pinpointed Israel was in going after the Iranian regime senior members. Also, they were pinpointed because they had the opportunity to lace Hezbollah pages with bombs. But then they compare that and contrast that with Gaza. It's less pinpointed. It's more, widespread, and also it's been taking a lot longer. And some people say that's proof that Israel is trying to either minimize non-combatant casualties, but also because they're fighting a different war because there are so many hostages there in Israel. I wonder what some of the lessons you think we can draw from this. The fact, because you spoke about the importance of Israel fighting comprehensive and quick wars, whereas with Gaza, it's just going on and on.
Well, all the experts agreed that if it goes on and on, Israel will be depleted. Israel cannot maintain that kind of a lifestyle. But it's been 2 years. And not only are they maintaining, they're also fighting on 4 other fronts. This is unbelievable.
Mm.
Netanyahu is unbelievable. How does he sleep? How does he wake up in the morning? How do you carry that kind of responsibility? So the world sees this. This is a miraculous nation. Everything that was ever said about the Jewish people is true. You are God's children. You are the chosen ones. You are God's representative to the world. Your whole existence is miraculous and superhuman. Who doesn't see that? And whoever doesn't see that, it just needs to be put out of their misery. They're just hopeless. So, no ceasefire.
Are you now saying, though, on reflection, you can understand Netanyahu's approach to Gaza?
No, I'm just saying that it's not what anybody expected.
Right, right.
They should have starved them out. They should have flooded them out a long, long time ago. That there are rockets coming from Gaza? That's insane.
And what do you make of the fact that, you said that there are still how could there be people that can't see the miracles of this, who can't see this? Well, unfortunately, there are some people, especially in the United States, actually, armchair commentators on the right and the left, who are very much digging their heels in against Israel. It's sort of becoming a bit desperate in my eyes, the way that I'm looking at this. But in particular, one of the things I'm hearing from some people, even in the Trump camp, is they say, enough with coming to Israel's aid. It's time for America first, and they don't see why America should involve themselves in Israel's wars. And I wondered what your thoughts were on that. Do you think they have something legitimate here in thinking that they should be involved in their own issues? If there's a direct threat to America, fine. But let's just say that it was just a threat to Israel and that was it. Do you think that they're right to say we shouldn't come to Israel's aid?
Politically, they're absolutely correct. But on the cosmic stage, if you don't come to Israel's aid, it's your loss. Like Mordechai said to Esther, you have an opportunity to do this great thing. If you don't do it, somebody else will. So it's not like we're dependent on you. But if you want to be on the right side of history, if you want to be on the right side of morality, then you go into Germany and you wipe out Nazis. Not politically, morally.
Mm.
So politically, they're right. Let America take care of America and let Israel take care of Israel. But then at the same time, don't tell Israel what to do. You can't have it both ways. You don't want to be involved, and fine. Don't threaten Israel. You say you don't want to play? Well, your loss. And that's how Jews need to learn to think. We are not dependent on anyone. Even Netanyahu was saying B'siyata Dishmaya. Well, then live it. If you have God's help, then what are you afraid of? Go for it. And you're so close. It's so close. There was
So
a very wise chassid who said, sometimes you talk to somebody and they seem so normal, so intelligent. They ask good questions. They hear what you're saying. They're considerate. They're thoughtful. And you think they're normal. And then the conversation is over and they walk out. And for some strange reason, they slam the door like a Michigan. In the last minute, the insanity shows up and undoes all the good. This is the last minute. Blowing it now? Oh, that would be the biggest blunder in history. So, no, why? Why should we stop now? No, we can't do it without America. Did you think of that in 1948? No. When you were a ragtag bunch of unexperienced and untrained, and you went for it on your own. Now that you've got the best army in the world, you're going to back down? That's like slamming the door like a Michigan.
what would you say to those who say, but hishtadlus surely means you have to acknowledge the world of nature, the world of teva, the world of realpolitik? You have to be smart. You can't just be like a bull in a china shop.
Sure, that's true, but you also can't go to the slaughter willingly. That's certainly not moral
Right.
or sensible. No. When you go to war, you go to win, not to play politics. And when you win, the whole world will adore you and thank you because you did the right thing. And that hasn't happened in a long time.
Hmm. It, it strikes me as so important and poignant that you reference this conversation with Mordecai and Esther. For those who aren't familiar, the conversation is in the book of Esther, where Mordecai basically tells Esther that you need to approach the king and tell him about Haman's plan, this Persian tyrant's plan to wipe out all the Jews. And he says, and if you don't do it, well, God will find another way to save the Jews. And it's like that critical moment. You'd expect him to say, if you don't do it, then we're all going to die. But he says, no, if you don't do it, God will make another plan. And it seems like that's such an important thing to have in our minds, this confidence that God is there. God, we have heavenly help the whole time. And therefore, if we recall that and remember that, then we should do whatever it is we need to do.
Yeah. And only we can do it. And the world is saying that. The world is saying that. The sane world.
Right. It doesn't look like Trump's saying it right now. Trump's saying, stop, stop, stop.
Whatever his reasons are, we have our reasons for ending the war.
Mm.
And ending the war means total humiliation.
But just put yourself in Netanyahu's shoes. He's thinking, America has literally come in and delivered those B-2 bombers. We couldn't have done that ourselves. I mean, maybe thinking about the Mordecai and Esther thing, maybe we could have found another way to do it. Maybe troops on the ground, who knows? But he's having that at the front of his mind and thinking we've dealt a lot of blows to Iran. Trump is absolutely fuming at the prospect that we should continue. I can understand how he's thinking this could be dangerous, a dangerous moment for us to upset the most powerful man in the world.
He is not the most powerful man in the world. We are. What does it take to prove this to ourselves? For whatever reasons, I really don't understand. I can't imagine why he would want to stop. what do you get? He's going to get the Nobel Peace Prize if he pulls off a ceasefire? They won't
Maybe.
give it to him anyway.
True,
They'll
true.
never give him. He said it himself. He says, no matter what I do, they'll never give me the Nobel Prize. Right? Anyway, so whatever his thinking is,
Maybe the midterms.
if it's best for America, then sure, go for it. But don't tell Israel what to do.
Hmm.
And if he does tell Israel what to do, Israel has a God who tells us what to do, and with or without America. You do the right thing, you get good results.
Now, Rabbi, one of the other areas that you've spoken a lot about since the October 7th war began is the importance of us rediscovering who we really are. Israelis, Jews, to rediscover what it really means to be Jewish and what our mission is so that we can articulate that clearly to the world. I wondered, though, do you think that the other quote-unquote talking points of Israeli activism, explaining how proud we are of our technological innovations and medical innovations and startup nation and all these other things, is that an integral part of who we are? And even not integral, but a part of who we are and how we should articulate our identity to be. Does that play a role for you?
It just confirms the fact that God is on our side, and whatever we do that is positive and correct, we are fabulously successful. Anything we do positive, holy, and good, we are miraculously successful. So, do we really need America's opinion? The whole point of everything in history is that Jews must, in the end, become the teachers of the world. is the only hope the world has left. We're at that stage. We're at that moment. One of the prophecies is that Mashiach will stand on the roof of the temple of the Beis Hamikdash, which means Mashiach has already come. He has already rebuilt the third temple. And he is going to say to the Jewish people, the time of your redemption has arrived. Will we not know it? Mashiach is here. We have a third temple. We're still not. And then Mashiach says, according to this prophecy, Mashiach is going to say, if you don't believe me, how's that for a possibility? If you don't believe me, look at my light that is shining on you. So, two questions. First of all, what do you mean we're not going to believe him? Are we ever going to grow up? Are we going to be stiff-necked forever?
Right. Sounds like we're back in the desert.
And if we don't believe him, look at the light that is shining on you. Oh, that's going to convince us? What light? What are you talking about? The miracles that we have seen, that the whole world has seen, that is absolutely undeniable. Doesn't that convince you that your time of suffering is over? And the answer is no. All through our 2,000-year misery, we've had miracles. Doesn't mean Mashiach is here. We had Purim. We had Hanukkah. We survived the Holocaust. Doesn't that prove Mashiach is here? No. Miracles are proof that we're still in exile. And we need miraculous ways of surviving. So Mashiach says, okay, you don't believe miracles? Then let me show you something convincing. And what is convincing? My light is shining on you. That's convincing, huh? That's so mysterious, so vague. So to make it concrete, the light is shining on you means the spotlight, not some mystical divine presence. The spotlight is on you. And what are people seeing in this spotlight? That it's my light that is shining on you. In other words, looking at the Jews under the spotlight proves that we are godly people. That never happened during exile. That's convincing. You're a tiny little country, a tiny fraction of the human population. Why is the spotlight on you? And when the spotlight is on you, what do people see? That you're the chosen people. You're a miraculous people. You are God's children. You are God's voice to the world. The world is seeing that. That's redemption. Now the world can be normal. To blow it now? Colossal stupidity. So, no, that can't happen.
Hi, thank you so much for watching. To watch another one, click here. To stay up to date with all our content, click here to subscribe. And if you're able to, you can help support JTV to grow and grow by clicking join below this video, where you can become a member and get perks including early access to videos and private live discussions with me. But most of all, you'll be partnering with us on our mission to change the world.